Gandang araw mga kabugtang. Tayo ay nakikiramay sa mga Katoliko na sa pagpanaw ni Pope Francis. There are only two popes I like. Number one is Pope John the 23rd and Pope Francis. Si John the 23rd kasi he called for the Second Vatican Council. Ang simbahan kasi dati nakalutang andun sa itaas ng Ivory Tower at walang ginawa. And the world, communism was rising, industrialization was shaping a new world, a different world from the past. And ang ginawa ng simbahan, condemn here, condemn there, until the Archbishop from Mechelen, Brussels stood up and said, instead of condemning the world, why don't we come down from our ivory tower and dialogue with the world? That cardinal was the late Cardinal Sweynens of Belgium. I was in Belgium. I was studying in Belgium when he died, and I attended his funeral. That guy was instrumental for the Second Vatican Council, no, na binaba sa lupa mula sa langit yung simbahang Katoliko. Nakakatuwa pa yung eleksyon ni John the 23rd kasi before him was Pius XII, Pope Pius XII. That guy was a certified asshole. He was very strict and very condemning. When he died, the cardinals were looking for something like him, standing out the authoritarian figure. While looking for, but they cannot find someone like him. So what they did, they elected an old man whom they think will die soon and will do nothing. But the paradox is that old man, si Angelo Giuseppe Roncalli, eventually came to be known as Pope John the 23rd, called for the Second Vatican Council. Talagang, and that guy, like him kasi yung puso niya talagang pastoral. He's really a pastor. And of course, Pope Francis, a Jesuit. In fact, nung nahalal si Pope Francis, nagulat ako, wala, Jesuit. Sabi ko, the end of the world must be near. Kasi Jesuit na naging Pope. Kasi the Jesuits were always anti-institutional church. In fact, they were banned twice by the church kasi they're very radical and their thinking is very progressive. Although hindi lahat, mga ugok din na Jesuit. Mga kilala akong mga Jesuit na ugok. Pero karamihan sa kanila matitino. I think the source of their strength is and their faith is the spiritual exercises of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. And most Jesuits I know are very generous and very simple. Like Pope Francis, he shocked everybody when he broke a lot of protocol and live a very, very simple life. And in fact, when he was asked about homosexual, he said, "Who am I to judge?" He baptized a child of unwed mother. No? That is something very radical kasi mga ugok na taong simbahan, very condemning. Yung pala mga hipokrito din. May mga anak. Naalala ko si Bishop Yalong, yung auxiliary bishop of Manila noon. Pag may paring nakabuntis, nag-aanak, nako, nag-uramentado siya, galit-galit yun pala, dalawa na yung anak niya. Eventually, he left na sa Amerika na raw ngayon. Yun ang hypocrisy. Kaya nga, pag-usapan natin ngayon na piety and hypocrisy. Piety, kabanalan. I'm very allergic to piety. Mga taong, more Catholic than the Pope or more Christian than Jesus Christ. In the first place, Jesus Christ is not a Christian. He was a Jew. Yung punong-puno ng stampita yung katawan, may mga crucifix kung ano-anong medalya, ulan na lang sabitan ng Christmas light, pero nananakit ng katulong, ng dadaya ng negosyo, nagnanakaw sa gobyerno. Pagdasal-dasal, politiko natin diyan sa Manila Cathedral kasi malapit sa COMELEC bago mag-file magsisimba paluhod-luhod tapos magdaraya pala sa eleksyon tapos pag nanalo magnanakaw no? Kaya nga split level pag-usapan na natin yung split level Christianity or double standard morality. It's a conflict between church and community values against church and school values against home and community values. They learn one thing in the church, in the school, but they do another thing outside. Halimbawa yan sa isang girly bar na may sumasayaw ng hubad. Sa cashier booth may Santo Niño. Katabi ng Santo Niño may pusa na gumaganon-ganon yung kamay. Pampaswerte daw. Ginagamit anting-anting ang reliyon. And according to many anthropologists and moral theologians, that is because the Filipinos were forced to accept a religion to the sword. They accepted the ritual, the external, but never internalized. At kasalanan din ng simbahang Katoliko kasi they failed to be relevant. No? Lutang sila sa hangin. Kaya nga ayan ang resulta. Split level Christianity or double standard morality. No? Ngayon, kaya nga naisipan ko itong topic na to, piety and hypocrisy. Kasi nabalitaan ko si Bangag pupunta daw sa Rome para makipaglibing kay Pope Francis. Sabi na Atty. Glenchong, pati Papa, ginamit pa. According to Atty. Glenchong, actually ang tunay na pakay ni Bangag doon ay si Trump kasi nang narinig niya na si Trump ay pupunta din sa libing ni Pope Francis, gusto niya rin pumunta doon and to seize an opportunity to have a photo ops with Trump. Tapos ipalabas sa mga dyaryo na suportado siya ng Amerika. Sabi ni Atty. Glenchong, si Bangag cheater sa eleksyon. Si Trump noon naging biktima ng pandaraya din sa eleksyon. Kaya good luck na yan sa iyo, Bangag. Pero common sa mga politiko natin yan. No, na magpakitang taon, kahit si Speaker Romualdez nagpa-blessing pa, nagdo-donate sa simbahan. At itong maraming kaparian din, pag nag-donate ka, nako, may reserved seat ka sa harap. No? Nasa one of the most controversial history of the Catholic Church is the selling of indulgences that you can buy your salvation. Pag bumili ka ng indulgence, mapapatawad yung kasalanan mo. Kaya nakakasuka itong mga ito, lalo na mga politiko na nagpapakitang tao, kahit si Dilima, padasal-dasal, pa-bless-bless. No? Tapos, ay, nako, nanakaw pala, drug trafficker din daw pala. Ay, grabe. Talagang very common yan. And I really hate that. In fact, pag may nakausap ako na yung bunganga, puro Lord, Lord, my first instinct is run. Wala akong tiwala sa mga tao na overly religious. Pero ganun mga Pilipino at mababaw ang pagkaintindi ng mga Pilipino ng kabanalan. External, puro forma. Sabi nga ni Max Scheler, when the substance is lost, people resort to form. Pag nawalan daw ng laman, binabawi sa forma. Ang mga halimbawa ni Scheler noon ay may mga Pariseo kasi walang spirituality, so binabawi sa ritual, binabawi sa strict adherence to the law, and they were shocked to see Jesus of Nazareth na breaking a lot of laws, no? Because he said the law is made for man and not man for the law. Pero ganun ang kabanalan. Kaya nga hypocrisy ng gano'n ang imahe ng kabanalan ng mga Pilipino. Nagsisimba ka, nagdarasal ka, pa-Lord ka, may crucifix ka sa katawan, may stampita, kung ano-ano pa, may anong tawag sa babae, ewan ko, manto sa, no, manto ata yun. yun, external, hindi naman sa gawa. Hindi ka nagmumura. Kahit si Jesus no, mura ng mura eh. Minumura niya yung mga Pariseo, yung mga hipokrito. Kahit si Jesus, galit sa mga hipokrito. Pag santong kabayo, no? Banal na aso, santong kabayo. Natatawa ko, sabi ng Yano. Kasi split nga eh, kabanalan. And marami yan. Ngayon, lalo na ngayon, campaign season, no? Nag-aanyo, phenomenon. May episode tayo niyan noon, pag phenomenon, pag-aanyo na banal daw. Kasi mga Pilipino, religious eh. Pero sa, ano lang yan, sa labas lang yan. Hindi internalized yan. So, yeah. In fact, nasa season of Easter pa rin tayo, katatapos lang ng Semana Santa, ang dami nating nakikitang mga panlabas na kabanalan, posisyon, bisita iglesia. Wala yon, sosyalan lang yon, ik lang yon. No? Pero, you know, I'm not very religious. Then I know that Christianity is one big lie. Pero ayaw ko na pag-usapan yun. Kung gusto nyo malaman yun, hanapin nyo lang sa YouTube yung Mind Games. Ang title ay Origins, tungkol sa mga gods. Saan ba ito nagsimula itong reliyon na to? But indeed, Christianity has a beautiful narrative. Because if you look at the passion, the death and resurrection of Christ, the passion and death is the perfect example of evil. All the possible evil that humanity can do. False accusation, betrayal, abandonment, torture, death. But it does not end there. There's always a resurrection. Whether the resurrection is a theological or historical event doesn't matter. Kasi theologians are debating whether the resurrection of Jesus of Nazareth was a historical or theological event. Pag sinabing historical, tao namatay at muling nabuhay. Pag sinabing theological event, more symbolic. Halimbawa, nag-aaway yung pamilya, namatay yung padre di pamilya, yung pagkamatay ng padre di pamilya was the way for the family to reconcile, and that is his resurrection. That's a theological event. Si St. Paul at si St. Peter are believers that the resurrection was a theological event. So, kaya it brings a lot of hope. Pero may negative side din yan. People could become fatalistic tulad mga Pilipino. Bahala na. Naghihintay sa wala. May kasabihan naman na sa Diyos ang awa, na sa tao ang gawa. It's always my thesis that this country will never progress as long as Filipinos are very, very pious. Very, very religious. Kaya nga, as a socialist, gusto ko yung linya ng internasyonale, no? Hindi aasa sa bathala o manunubos. Kaya tingnan mo yung China, hindi masyadong religyoso, nag-progress sila. Talagang, kasi hindi ka aasa sa wala. Hindi naman makikialam ang Diyos sa problema natin. Siguro, according to Christian theology, the most God can do is to give us the graces to carry our burden. Because I believe in what Heraclitus said, man's character is his faith. Karamihan siguro 80% of our suffering are self-inflicted. Tayo rin ang may gawa. Kaya tapos ngayon aasa ka sa Diyos. Pero piety and hypocrisy, si Bangag andun sa Rome. Attend daw ng libing. Isang magnanakaw. Tapos paldasal-dasal doon. Isang mandaraya, lalo na yung asawa niya. Andun sila magdasal-dasal. Nakita sa buong mundo na payos sila, religyoso sila. That is pure hypocrisy.